That storm's worsening, but best head inland, traveler, far as you can manage. It is only a matter of time before the tempest over Sea Keep moves down the coast, leaving ruin in its wake. I suppose it is, but we were driven from the keep long before the tempest began forming. Sea elves infiltrated our defenses and slaughtered the garrison. We're all that survived. That storm will finish the job unless I manage to stop it. It's no natural formation. The sea elves are conjuring it. If I could get within striking distance of their sea mage, I could break his hold on the storm and prevent the destruction to come. But that's a desperate hope for one mer. I hope you're a strong swimmer, incidentally. Here. This is the place. See that whirlpool? Currents are being drawn into the flooded ruins beneath Sea Keep. We should be able to follow them inside just as the sea elves did. It's that or we drown. If you want to back out, I understand. Good. I'm glad to have someone at my back. I couldn't ask any of my soldiers to do this. They've suffered enough for my mistakes, and it's just something I have to do. Come on, before the storm decides to sweep us away. 8, guide us. made it! Too many years on dry land. There's a secret door in these ruins that will lead us directly into Seakeep's dungeon. I can unseal it, but there's something you should know first. I had another reason to come here, when I couldn't share around my troops. The Maormer are holding the woman I love captive. I have to free her before because Castera is a sea elf. She is, or was, I suppose, the captain of the crew that attacked Seakeep. Assuming her mutinous crew hasn't already done so, she'll be executed. Bait. These ruins were the only place where Cass and I could see each other. Our secret safe place. She would signal and I would use the secret door to meet her. Only this time, I was met by the sabers of her crew. They had her. Yes. The blood of the garrison is on my hands. I killed them with my secret. I can't take that back, but maybe I can save what... I last saw Cass in the dungeon. With any luck, she's still there, and unharmed. I didn't. The sea elves waylaid me and tossed me in the dungeon as soon as I unsealed the hidden passage. I slipped the leash on the battlements, where their sea mage was studying the keep's magical defenses. There was nowhere for me to run, so I took a leap. There's the secret door. Give me a moment to open the seal. Are you all right?
I only cast
How did you...
spells when it's
Never mind.
absolutely
Get me out of these
necessary.
chains.
I'll see to her bonds. Cass, I need you to tell us everything you know about what your crew is planning.
Is it just the two of you? I suppose it'd have to be. No one from his garrison would volunteer to help a Maormer. You know the truth then, about us. You have to understand. The only thing lower than a mutineer to the Maormer is an Ultima. Consorting with one is tantamount to treason. Loving one, unforgivable. I made them party to the ultimate taboo. Now they're trying to wash away the stain. They're going to summon a storm so powerful it'll scour the entire coast clean, and this keep with it. There'll be no trace of my offense left, or anything to stand between Alinor and the Piandinian Armada. They'll be remembered as heroes. On the battlements, calling to the wind and sea. It'll be a hard slog to get there. My crew won't hesitate to lay down their lives to protect Ulsar.
I have a suggestion for our next move. Defeating Ulsar won't be as simple as rushing up the battlements and driving a sword through his heart. He has all the power of Seakeep at his command. It wouldn't even be a contest, but I have an idea to put us on equal footing. The magic in these old ruins are the hidden heart of Seakeep's power. Without them, we'd merely be high walls and harsh words, save a few war machines. Cutting off the flow of magicka to the battlements might give us the edge we need. There are fonts that channel the power of Magica through Seakeep. If we seal them, it should prevent Ursar from drawing more power into his storm, but the results could be unpredictable. Sealing the fonts will be like trying to plug a dam with our fingers. At best, we'll staunch the flow enough to weaken him.
Pan, your plan's insane. I love it. Where do we start?
No. You have to run while you can, Cass. Even if we stop the storm...
Stow it, Pan. I'm as much to blame for this as you. I'm not leaving you to fix it yourself.
You're okay turning a blade on your own? There's no way to avoid it.
They stopped being my own the moment they mutinied.
There's one of the fonts.
I don't suppose we could use this to blast Ursar off the ramparts.
Sadly, no.
Couldn't enjoy it from down here anyway.
We burn all their cities. Where would we raid?
Ultima magic. Ah, nothing but spittle dead.
It was necessary. It was necessary. The Ultima fonts.
Do what you have to do. Ursar. A Khajiiti trade bar. Every day the immortal. If you can believe.
Remember, its blows are its song. It's mine.
Not now. Can't you see I'm busy torturing this high
There's a
elf?
font here.
Is there any way to tell if this is working?
Remaining in one piece will be a good sign.
I'm in favor of that.
The last font is just ahead.
I'm too stubborn to sink Tenerife. That's why I was captain. There wasn't a shred of hesitation in Tenerife's eyes. He went to his grave hating me with my second mate. Former second mate. He was like a brother to me, but he turned his back like the rest. I don't know why I betrayed them first. I made vows.
Rest of us.
May your boat. There wasn't a shred. There wasn't my second. I betrayed them first. I made vows to one of the tyrants that exiled our people from our rightful home. I've lost everything because of it. Maybe I was right when I thought we were cursed. Maybe I was never one of them to begin with. How many of those vipers would have chucked?
The gates are barred. The locking mechanisms are controlled from those two towers.
Easy enough. You take one, I'll take the other.
Be careful.
I prefer to cast spells from the back of the line.
Once we've unbarred the... Rulotar! Damn it! I didn't see him escape, but I held out hope. I'm sorry, old friend.
I'll make captain one day. Mark my words.
Rulotar was our ranking battle mage. I served alongside him for more than a century, but I left him to die here. He upheld his duty, fought to the end to hold this fort. I chose, selfishly, to follow my... We're not out of the storm yet, but I take your meaning. No matter what happens. That does it. We should meet Castira at the gate. This is it, Cass. Last chance to...
Don't try to talk me out of this, Pan.
Earlsar and his storm lie beyond this gate. No matter what happens, I want to thank you for standing by me. If it weren't for you, I might never... Charging headlong into the fray was easier when I had nothing to lose.
Earlsar's up ahead. He drove my crew to mutiny, tossed me in chains, and nearly killed the man I love. You remember our vows?
They were the only thing that kept us moored through that miserable storm.
Let's do it again. How often are we going to see a tempest like this in one lifetime?
You always were the romantic.
Shouldn't the storm be growing weaker?
I said it probably wouldn't get any stronger. Damn him! I can barely hold my footing!
Keep fighting! One of us has to make it!
You can't beat the sea!
Astera, wait!
This is the calm before the storm.
It ends like it began.
Should I call
the
down
two of
another
us,
storm?
adrift among the
That
wreckage
should
of our
knock the
lives.
fight
But
out.
alive and together.
Fortune smiles with a shark's teeth. Ulsar's dead and his mutiny along with him. I only wish I had the strength to settle the score myself. If there was any justice in the world, he'd have been forced to concede that he'd never drown me in shame. I'll return home with my head held high. It'll be a long journey without a crew, but I'll manage. There's no shame in returning to port humbled but unbroken. Though I think I'll steer clear of sun-kissed shores. I love him, for some reason. But the walls between us are taller than this keep. Just to see him for a few fleeting moments commands such risk, it nearly destroyed everything we care about. And more. There's no place for us among Malma or Ultima. Just leave it all behind. Live for ourselves. If only we'd just done that so long ago. Our mistake was trying to live two lives that were... I love you, Pan. But we can't go on like this.
I know, Cass.
We've been fighting against the current for years. It's time to see where it means to take us.
You mean together?
If you're up for a swim,
Where would we go?
the storm could have carried us off to anywhere, Pan. Pretend it did.
Let's cast our fate to the wind.
If anyone asks, we were swept out to sea, never to return. Farewell.
This is where we part ways, friend. I wish I'd known more people like you in my life. Things might have been different if I had. The vanguard from Alinor has arrived, not a moment too soon. Tell the Battle Reeve what happened here, or as close to the truth as best serves you. After today, I'm dead to...
Where is Battle Reeve Pandemalion? His soldiers said he returned to Seakeep with a passerby. One that matches your description? What is going on? Another noble soul lost to the Sea Elves? They've claimed too many in their relentless raiding. Vipers. We will take things from here. You are to be commended for your service to the Crown.
Look, I apologized, and then I apologized again. What more do you want from me? How dare you talk to me as equals? Anything less than groveling on your knees is an insult. Still, my prized mare has run off. I'm not letting this... I am a kin lady of Somerset. Is that a threat? You would threat... I'll grant you a reprieve, Orc. This time. Be on your way.
Honestly, I think she plans to do something... Ah, another newcomer. Delightful. What exactly can I do for you? What keen ears you have. You heard us discussing a private matter from way over there. Impressive. Perhaps you can put that inquisitive nature to good use. A newcomer, much like you, is stirring up... A member of the Mages Guild murdered a sapiarch, but now the murderer's friend is railing against the conviction. Loudly. Poke some sense into her, would you? She might listen to another guest. You'll find her...
Well?
Who in oblivion are you? I left explicit instructions with the manager. Let's keep our voice down, shall we? So, the Hulkind disappoints once again. How utterly expected. I'm astonished the Hulkind refused to complete this task himself. You do not, cannot understand the painstaking preparation, the ritual consumption, and the artful flavors of an Indrik heart. It is a delicacy fit for only the finest gourmets. The question is something more important than the obligation he had to me. Hulkins have no sense of honor. Of course, an femme such as yourself wouldn't understand. A family sets expectations. Here is...
Sometimes I wish the criminals and lawbreakers would take a holiday. Then the officers of the Divine Prosecution could catch up on our paperwork. Is there something you need, newcomer? A writ of authenticity for a Nord ambassador? That's a highly unusual request, considering that a newcomer is the one making it. The Divine Prosecution requires weeks, sometimes even months, to properly audit diplomatic. Vindilwyn, she loves to engage in the commerce of favors. Very well, a cup and bowl were stolen from the Alinor Palace, favorites of the Queen. Ideas? Plenty. Proof? Nothing that would hold up in a court of law. Not yet, anyway. But I'm more concerned with recovering the items.
Stay strong, Emil. I'll get you out of this.
Secure the prisoner in the Fighters Guild. Off you go.
You're a member of the Mages Guild, aren't you? Please, you have to help me. The Sapiarchs accused one of our compatriots, my best friend, of a murder he didn't commit. They won't even consider the possibility that he's innocent. Another Sapiarch named Haladon. Emil arrived at the gates of Lilandril, carrying Haladon's body, and confessed to the crime. But he seemed shocked, confused. I know Emil better than anyone. He's not capable of something like this. I swear it. He's a pacifist for Mara's sake. The Sapiarch's investigation was a joke. They just took Emil at his word and handed down the sentence. Of course, the local guild magister rolled over like she always does. Coward. Please, I need your help. The Sapiarchs say Emil confessed to murdering Haladon, but he'd never murder anyone. He loved Haladon. I don't know if he's confused or disoriented, but I do know he wouldn't do it. Please, talk to Emil. Convince him to recant his confession. Emil and I are both members of the Mages Guild chapter here in Lilandril, and students of the guild's chief diplomat, Kalawende. As for our relationship, Emil is my dearest friend. Has been since we were both in diapers. I don't know if he'll listen to anyone, but I don't have a choice. The Sapiarchs and Mages, an order of High Elf scholars and mages. They walk the halls of power here in Somerset, observing and advising. Of course, there's a thin line between... To the Sapiarchs, stepping in puddles is reckless. Not folding your linens is reckless. By their standards, my 90-year-old grandmother is wild as a foal in springtime. No, he and Emil were very close. If you'd asked me before all this happened, I'd have wagered that restoration magic. Absolutely not.
I don't have anything to say to you or anyone else. Please, go. Yes. She's wrong. What? No, no. They already did an investigation. I murdered Haladon. It was me. Why are you inserting yourself into matters that don't concern you? I murdered a Sapiarch. I accept responsibility and my punishment. Go away. I don't want your help.
You there? Why are you interrogating Emil? I am Kalawende, Chief Diplomat of the Mages Guild. I apologize for my tone. This has been a trying time. The Sapiarchs consider this matter closed, you know. What are you doing exactly? Who sent you? Our interests may align. Vivine, look, I've uncovered something odd as well. The Sapiarchs have made it very difficult for me to intervene directly. Perhaps you can help. Emil met a shady merchant. That's what I came here to find out. But it seems Emil doesn't want to talk. Galador has deep connections to Lilandril smug. Galador stores his business ledger in one of the inn's larger suites. Unfortunately, he placed a hex on the book, making it impossible to read without a pass. My contacts tell me that Galador left the city on business. Goodness. She is tenacious. She often volunteers to help others. You won't find a more zealous advocate for the Mages Guild's goals and missions. In my experience, people use talent as an excuse for idleness and lack of effort.
Emile and Vivine both enjoy great natural ability, but Emile's focus on restoration... Truthfully, oh, I'd love to. It has exacerbated... Yes, the guard...
Another newcomer in such an unwelcoming... This one only needs a little gold to get himself started. Some food, some clothes, and he will be an... Oh, noble soul. Another newcomer in such...
Star-eyed bride of Alan, lost in storm and spray. Star-eyed bride.
Psst, over here. I trust you were successful. My own inquiries were fruitful. I've learned where we must go next in this investigation. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Did you manage to break Galador's wards? What did you find? Honestly? What would Emile want with sheep's blood? And syringes? I suspect blood magic. I'll try to figure out what Emile wanted with these items. Meanwhile, I found the guard who arrested Emile. Miller.
Welcome to Lalandril. Just off the boat. Lots of sailors coming and going. Just don't forget to submit your shipping manifests to... Sad business, that. I was at my post when I saw Emile with a body slung over his shoulder. He didn't seem mad, if that's what you're asking. But he wasn't lucid either. When it comes to murderers, I've met more than my fair share. So you can trust me when I say... Look, you need to promise me you'll keep this to yourself. Saltbreeze Cave is just south of here. Well-worn entrance, wizard's tools scattered. This business with Emile was just too odd. Once the Sapiarchs convicted him, I had to find the truth of it. I took my coursing hound, Othelus, down to the... No, Saltbreeze has a sour reputation. It used to be a popular haunt for the city youth to drink, sing, fornicate, that sort of... Of course they did. They'd already declared... That's the other thing. Haladan looked like he'd been thrown off a cliff. Legs broken, blood leaking out of his ears. Unless he can conjure up a stone club the size of an ox yoke...
chainmail is fine.
Finally, the courier. I expected you hours ago. You must acquire my materials at once. And don't think... Oh, well, I can hardly keep track of every face I hire. An artist's work is endless. Reagents, ingredients, naturally, of course. I require that you gather the supplies needed to make the vivid paint this masterwork. I really do need you to hurry along. Inspiration could strike me at any moment, and I simply must have the... Oh, of course, you're a fan. From what I gather, Somerset views its artists rather differently than the rest of Tamriel. It's one of the few ways to rise above your family's station and enter the world of the... Oh, no. Being a renowned artist is a station all its own, and I'm known for my art. Hamelin's dye produces the Orion.
Hard at work, Tindoria? How goes your finger painting?
Ah, Verilel. I see you've deigned to step out of your florid abode. Come to see how a real artist creates.
I'd enlighten you with a response, but we both know my skill speaks for itself.
Why, you're certainly skilled at boasting. If only you had the artistic sense Oriel gave a mudharper, you might produce something of worth.
Your tongue remains as sharp as your wits. When I'm declared the royal court's newest artist, I'll be sure to send you an invitation to dinner.
What a kind offer, though I'm sure that won't be necessary. After all, we both know that I'll be the one to acquire that position.
Yeah!
Who's there? Please don't hurt me. I mean you no harm. Emil? Is that you? Where is Haladon? Is he all right? Auriel, forgive me. Please listen carefully. Emil did not murder Haladon. I swear it. The two of them only sought to help me. I suffered from a mysterious affliction. Haladon and Emil infect— Gods, no! I came here with my companion Gerwardel. By the time we arrived, her illness was terminal. Emil tried to administer the cure to her too, but she broke free and attacked Haladon. Stone abominations. Vampiric alchemy. If the Sapiarchs found out that Haladon had a hand in this tragedy, they would strike his name from the histories. Emil would never let— Absolutely. Haladon and Emil loved each other. I don't think you understand the Sapiarchs. Undoubtedly. The Sapiarchs would probably dispatch a few vampire hunters to find— I believe so. The fog is gone. The flop sweats and sleepless nights with dreams of blood and stone. But the cost— Yes. I can feel it creeping up the back of my throat. That thirst. It was just a tickle at first. Now, never. Enough people have suffered on my account. Anyway, how would I find them? The shale skin disease claimed my sight. My new condition does have a few— They called it osteochondritic fever. A rare virus that hardens the skin like stone and oyster shell. And as if that weren't bad enough, we were part of a merchant fleet that got blown off course. Wound up beached on an island full of slowed mischief. Something in the air there. Or perhaps, truthfully, because he was the kindest, most generous mayor I've ever known. Hurry to Lilandro, prove Emil's innocence. I'll find my way. Somehow.
If you've come to rob me, I'm afraid I have little of value. I can help if you've a high fever or nervous stomach, but I have no need for healthy paranoia, I suppose. There's plenty of questionable characters out here, but I prefer it to the crowded cities. Too many... Oh, it's been a long time since my former student has contacted me, and now she makes such demands. How quickly she forgets who trained. This is... Yokuden blue tea? I thought it lost forever. The last shipment was said to have sunk to the bottom of the Abyssan Sea. Oh, she's still clever, isn't she? Her and Verilel always were. Very well. Take my mixture. Yes, back when I had the inclination to bother with such upstarts. I thought that would be my legacy, to train great artists. The life of a Somerset artist is not easy. It's not enough to be merely great. You have to be better. Both Tindoria and their rivalry seemed harmless at first, even friendly. Just something to keep them motivated. But and now they've both grown bitter and endlessly jealous of the other's success. They believe Somerset only has room for one.
Hey there, careful where you step. My livestock is having their dinner, and I won't have some bumblers stomping all over them. These bugs happen to be the most desirable olive lint to crawl upon Somerset. Ground up, my beauties make the most brilliant shade of grey you ever did see. Why, I even got the artist Tindoria as a client. Oh, well, I did. I always took her for one of the good ones. Never tried to cheat me or say I wasn't, because it turns out she's just like every other high elf on this island. I refused to sell my carapaces to her exclusively, and this... Yes, and he had quite a bit to say about Tindoria.
Wait, don't hurt me. This wasn't my idea, honest. I just did what I was paid to. I don't know, some sort of pheromone? It makes those nasty bugs sleepy, but that's it, I swear. It's not poison or anything. What? No, a fellow named Verilel. Nasty perfume, full of himself, typical artist. He paid me to sabotage. That's it. This is the last time I get caught up in artist rivalries.
I trust your search was as fruitless as mine? He did? Honestly, I would love to believe that. Tindoria's support was the only thing I had going for my business for a long while. That's true. Tindoria and Verilel have been rivals for as long as they've been artists. I even let that bastard convince... Here, take the last of my stock. I'm sorry I ever took the word of that perfumed pansy over Tindoria.
Another one? You there! Come here! I bet you've come here for an Aurealis bloom. Well, tough luck. Fresh out. Last one was nabbed a fortnight ago. Come back. Why else would you come here? The view? You know, once you could get an Aurealis anywhere. Now it's all but gone. You heard me. As soon as they learned it made a pretty... What are you, deaf? Are you mad? You're damaging my plants! Hey there! Leave that alone! Please, leave that Aurealis alone! You can't take it! What is wrong with you? Why couldn't you just continue on your... Of course I did! Why would I let you have one of the last, if not the last, surviving blooms? If you take that... Yes! That's what I've been saying all along. You really want to take the chance? I'm telling you, I've searched all over this island. This is the only one I could find. In less than a year, it will spread seeds. I'll nurture them, help rekindle this... Finally. Yes, Verilel, the blasted artist who took the
courier. I would like to have a word if you would. You know, I've heard quite a bit about your little venture to acquire Tindoria's supplies for her latest sketch, and I must say, who am I? Honestly, I assure you, my confident hate. Well, I could speak to how those supplies would be used in the service of art that... Me do such a thing? As I told dearest Brodrin, it was Tindoria who sought to drive him to ruin. Why, I adore the little woodland elf. Tindoria has tricked you, my friend. Then someone she paid to incriminate me, no doubt. This game we play is one... Well, that's a shame.
At last you return, and with complication. A fine way to refer to extinct? How could such a common plant go extinct? Just last week I saw some. Oh, wait a moment, was that last month? Last year? Oh, how the time flies. Oh, that scoundrel! Brodrin is a good mer, and he loves those bugs like his own children. This is intolerable news. Oh, wonderful! I hoped she'd like it. And here is your payment, as contracted. I am pleased you chose to honor our arrangement instead of siding with that scoundrel. Your visage upon my canvas shall be viewed for centuries, I'm sure. Why, maybe one day it will be featured in a... Oh? Just a quick sketch, then, to capture your essence. Your visage.
Vindilwyn told me where she sent you. I've been having the most interesting conversation with this divine prosecution person here. Did you know the tall elves have at least 3 rules for every... Rigert is so happy he could kiss you! The last time I did that, though, Thane Mera punched me in the nose, so... I know. Let's give the good Justiciar one of my Nord keep... Interesting. The stuffed goat represents stoic bravery, and she never breaks any rules. The Nord Cultural Exchange proudly returns the Queen's stolen items. And this stuffed goat, it's a Nord treasure.
Remarkable work. I'll grant you that writ of authenticity now. A word of advice. If Vindilwyn refuses to help, remind her that the divine persecution might remember the incident at the Battle Reeves dinner party. You performed admirably, and of course, I must admit I didn't expect you to succeed. Let's just say Vindilwyn likes to maintain the upper hand. Here's a bit of advice.
Now that we have the...
You again? What? No. No, you're mistaken. No, no, no. You can't believe her. She's lying. I attacked Haladon. I killed him. You're making this up. No one will believe it. No. Please, you must burn those notes. If the Sapiarchs learn what Haladon and I did, he'll be ruined. Disgraced. All his work will be for nothing. And Norasea. Mara, save me. Poor Norasea. They'll kill her. Please, you must keep this a secret.
By Magnus, if what you say is true, Emil's innocent. You seem hesitant. Don't get bogged down. She's a vampire. I grew up in Shornhelm, and I know how dangerous they are. They drink people's blood for Mara's sake. Look, Haladon's dead. And if he truly loved Emil, he would gladly suffer humiliation to keep his beloved out of prison. You know that.
Poor Emil. He meant well. But these are shocking revelations. I never thought he'd be so reckless. I care for Emil, but I have a whole guild to consider. We've brought many outsiders to Somerset, and our relations here are tenuous. I spoke to Sapiarch Saratarel. If Emil makes a full confession, the Sapiarchs will let us handle the details of his imprisonment. I've arranged for Emil to return to Stormhaven, a familiar setting. No, but then there are many forms of freedom. Wouldn't you agree? Emil will have access to our vast life.
There's nothing to consider. Even if I didn't kill Haladon, the vampirism was my idea. He never would have agreed to it if I hadn't pushed him. Haladon meant more to me than you'll ever know. His memory is all I have left. Curse you! Do you think I want freedom? I want Norasea to be safe. I want Haladon to be remembered.
You have new evidence to present? Very well. I trust your investigation was thorough and unbiased? Or rather, as thorough. This handwriting... Yes, I'd recognize Haladon's penmanship anywhere. Sirabani's ring, had he only spoken to us. Do you see now the bitter fruits of heedless magic? This is what happens when you turn away from tradition. Emil is free to leave our island, permanently. The Sapiarchs and the Mages Guild clearly have a long way to go before we can rely upon each other. As for you, I must confess I find your diligence commendable. Take this, and my apologies. I will sign Emil's release papers immediately, but I will also insist on his exile from Somerset. The Mages Guild can decide what they want to do to him once he leaves. The Sapiarch, we will scrub it clean. The Sapiarchs cannot allow the works of a heedless fool to sully our shelves. Haladon knew the costs of it. We will hunt her down and destroy her. This brings me no pleasure, I assure you. But we cannot allow an alchemically bred vampire.
The savior of Skywatch. Patton's training camp crushed.
You're doing the right thing. Emil will blame you for this, but I hope you'll forgive him. He suffered an
I know this wasn't easy. While I disagree with your decision, I understand why you made it. I only hope...
I will sign Emil's release.
Have you seen?
I've checked over Lillandrill from top to bottom, and there's no sign of the Court of Bedlam. I can't get the Portal Master to let me go to the college compound, though. Have you brought permission from the Proxy Queen? Good, good. I was about to turn that insignificant book dust into something small, wet, and slimy. It would have made matters worse, but it might have brightened the dark mood. No, the mission is more important than personal matters. Lathan and I met when we were initiates of the Sigic Order. We fell in love and married, had a daughter. We had... It happened ages ago, after a long illness. We lived on an island filled with the most accomplished sages of our age. And there was nothing... No, it wasn't like that. When the Right Master first learned of the possible Daedric threat, Lathan volunteered. Lathan's reports became less frequent. Then he stopped sending them altogether. I'd know if he was dead, but he could...
Not now, please. I really must prepare for tonight's lecture. Besides, only those with permission may enter the College of Sapiarchs. We can't have just anyone. So you're the luminary the proxy queen wants me to treat with kid gloves. And I suppose the arrogant Sijic is with you? Oh, very well. That was you. I suppose resolve is one way to put it. Poor Haladon. Misguided and deluded. He threw away his life's work and ruined his reputation. The compound has been purposely isolated to serve as a sanctuary and place of study. Research and scholarship require solitude and quiet, after all. Just follow me and step onto the dais. By the 7 sacred texts, who has dared invade this place of learning?
I've got this. You talk to that Sapiarch.
This is unheard of. Attacked in our own sanctuary? This is terrible. Please excuse my present state, as I am distraught beyond all rational thought. I never imagined that Daedra would attack our compound. It's madness. Forgive my lapse in protocol. I am Elamil, Sapiarch of Daedric fallacies. Happened? Oh, it isn't over yet. There was no warning. Daedra filled the compound. So many great minds cut down. We were able to clear the courtyard. The Crystal Tower? You need to speak to Lanatil, Sapiarch of Arcanology and head of our college. She's trapped inside.
According to the maps I studied, the labyrinth is this way.
I'll return to Lilandril and warn the guards.
Good idea. Perhaps I should accompany.
There's more to this than a simple Daedric incursion. I felt a strange sensation sometimes. Probably has something to do with living on a displaced island and being part of the Sijic Order. Even scholars have ways to defend themselves. Which reminds me, I can protect myself, but...
An abundance of prey. Oh, we shall feast tonight.
By the stars! This place is enormous! I'd like to explore this compound one day, when fewer Daedra are about, of course. We should be able to reach the upper levels through there. I sense this way. I hear voices up ahead.
No more sages need die today, Sapiarch. Just give me the diamond keys.
The diamonds are not mine to give, especially not to a Daedric cultist. Nathan, stop!
Valkyrie. No, Daphne.
You and your companion arrived in the proverbial nick of time. Now, if you wouldn't mind, who in Oblivion are you? And how did you know the College of Sapiarchs was under assault? First, the cultist leads an army of Daedra into our compound and demands I turn over the Resolute Diamonds. Now, you arrive with a warning from the long-absent sages of Artaeum. I think you need to explain yourself before we go any further. That's impossible. We would know if the tower's defenses had been breached. But it would explain the disasters currently befalling the Somerset Isle. Let's say I believe you. What does the Right Master suggest as the next step? A reasonable plan, but access to the tower requires the Resolute Diamonds, which are guarded by the tower's sentinels. Only they can use the keys. I suppose they are the next target. We appreciate your aid in this matter. Before you head to the Illumination Academy, Perhaps you can have your friend get that cultist out of my compound. As it is, it's going to take weeks to get rid of the stench of Daedra. Every 11 years, 2 sapiarchs are selected to undergo a long and extensive ritual to attune them to the resolute diamonds. The azure diamonds are a matched set, specifically attuned to a pair of sapiarchs at any given... Who can say how much the cultist actually knows about the diamonds and their function? The Daedric prince he serves, however, has magic enough to utilize the diamond. In addition to their sentinel duties, Haniel and Immadril also serve as scholars in the College of Sapiarchs. They have research. That's our standard practice. Difficult times call for desperate measures, however. You need to know who they are.
You there. Tell my darling wife to release me, and I'll ask Mathala to kill you quickly when the new age dawns. Spinner saved me from fools and altruistic adventurers. Valsarin turned her back on me and my daughter a long time ago. Is it any wonder I've found acceptance and Don't presume to judge my actions, you insignificant flea. I am an earl in the court of Bedlam now, chosen personally by Mathala to represent her on this all-too-fragile world. Leave me. I'm done speaking to you now.
I can't believe I was concerned about the welfare of my husband. To find Lathan here, threatening the Sapiarchs and leading a horde of Daedra. How could he betray the order? A simple spell of binding. His attention was so focused on the Sapiarchs, he wasn't prepared to deal with another Psijic mage. I almost hope he gives me a little trouble. I could use a reason to unleash some pain and suffering on this turncoat.
Let's leave these Psijics to their work. We have a college to put back together.
As I have said, The proxy queen is unable to hold an audience with petitioners at this time.
I honestly never expected to see either you or Ambassador Riggett again. So I see. I'll just file the documents away for later review, and slip those tickets into my bodice for safekeeping. We should be... You're lucky I'm entertaining the Nord's request at all. Take the appointment and be grateful for this time with the Proxy Queen. I know newcomers who would kill for a meeting sometime this year, let alone in 5 weeks.
Riggert is so disappointed. How can I negotiate peace if I can't even get an audience with a High Elf proxy? Of course. Threaten the snooty High Elf with a scandal. High Elves hate...
Back again? You? He did what? How dare he? Why, I have a mind to... No. I see how it is. Very well. Tell the Ambassador I'm impressed by his ruthless use of rumor and innuendo. I'll let the Proxy Queen know that Riggett is her next appointment.
What happened? Did the threatening words do the trick? Or is Riggert in even more trouble with the snooty High Elves now? She did? I mean, of course she did. Riggert had every confidence in you. Thank you, my friend. Take this with the gratitude of the Nord Cultural Exchange. I think you'll like it better than that stinky essence of mammoth that I saw you ogling.
Proxy Queen Eleanor, may I present the Nord Ambassador, Riggert the Brash.
Pleased to be seeing your beautiful face, Your Majesty. Sign the treaty, and we can break for dinner. Unless you want to be negotiating first.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Ambassador. I'll listen to what you have to say, and we'll see where the evening takes us.
As long as the evening includes lots of mead, that sounds fine to me.
Ambassador, I find your Nordish inclinations to be most refreshing.
Oh, Riggert has plenty of inclinations, Your Majesty.
We look forward to finding out all about your inclinations, Ambassador Riggert. Come along. The royal chef makes a rabbit meatball pie that you'll absolutely devour.
You may have forced my hand, but that doesn't mean the Nord Ambassador will be successful in his quest. Not that it matters to me.
Take a moment to center yourself if you plan to enter.
come back to where you came, stranger, unless you want to vanish like the rest. Many of my friends have gone missing near these ruins. Rulia still holds out hope that they will return, but he and a few of the others have staked out a...
Quiet! Someone approaches. Is it Kandar? I can't sense him.
Disappearances are all the more reason for you to leave.
Sorry, stranger. My friend can't see too well anymore. She mistook you for someone we've been looking for. Things have been rough lately. More than a few of us have disappeared recently. Kanhar's group are just the latest. They set out to search for the missing. They've stood quiet for decades, but now, new yawning sinkholes, eerie sounds at night. I don't jump at shadows, but missing people? That's a warning. You're a kind soul. Be careful. We've lost a lot of kind souls of late. That pushy noble, Fidor, might know something. He was friendly enough with his questions about this land, the manor, and so on. Eventually, he tried to convince us to show him around and stuff. He happened along after our people started vanishing, and he's got reason to want us gone. Raises an eyebrow, yeah? All I'm suggesting... It's quiet, and usually free of nosy locals shooing us away. Too scared of the curse. There are a lot... The details vary, but they all revolve around the town being wiped out and swallowed by the sea. The sort of divine wrath stories... Nowhere else to go. The wastes, as they call them, have been a safe haven for the outcast and unwelcome for a long time. Not much. The land...
For a place with such a terrible reputation, this estate certainly gets a lot. I didn't expect to find anyone living out here. This place barely exists outside of fables. My family kept no records of it, or our relatives here, other than our claim to the land. So those vagrants say. I don't mind having some company in this endeavor. I asked them to leave when it became clear they were up to no good. If they're trying to blame me for their friends run... I'm not! I swear I'm as in the dark about these missing persons as you are. The only reason I haven't been... They're outcasts. My kin feel I'm... lineage... How's it looking there? Packed with mud and debris. How about through here? No, flooded. Maybe if I was a sea elf. This breach looks promising. Take a look. Can't say I care for the naturalized aesthetic. Keep your eyes out for anything that may have survived the... Some answers. What happened to my family here? Something about that statue catch your interest? Even in such disrepair, I can imagine the whole town. That's incredible. My family has wealth and holdings, but not... That's a sound theory. Simple, but sound. There has to be something here that could reveal the... Damn! These papers are practically mulch. Maybe something survived. Help me look. I wonder whose chambers these were. What was their life like? May I have a look? Mercy, a gruesome disease that decimated the population of Tamriel, Somerset included. It made the Nahatan flu seem like the sniffles. Everyone here could have been wiped out. Still, most people alive had family afflicted by... No, it was a vile creation of the Slode, brewed in their kingdom of Thras. But it's possible it harbored the first outbreak on Somerset. I'm finding more questions than answers. Perhaps for thousands of years? Doubtful. Down here! I found something! I thought I heard something down here, but the sound must have carried up from this tunnel. It looks formed by erosion. Maybe related to the sinkhole? Makes sense. The journal mentioned taking the afflicted to the family vaults. It would have been easy for the Korgrads to seal off their estate and leave murmurs and splashing. I thought maybe one of those... Is that a person? Hey, you there! Wait! This camp looks recent. I'll bet your missing persons just discovered that these ruins make decent shelter. a bad feeling about the fate of these people. I don't think that was one of your vagrant friends. Somehow I doubt they received a warmer reception than we did. Agreed. Much as... Ah! Voices!
Shota.
I heard it again. Be careful. Gone. Look, people. Let's approach with caution.
Please approach. We know you are here.
There we are. Much better, yes. Manners are easily forgotten when you're so far removed from society. Call me Arelas. I am caretaker of this place. We all are. We led our lives in... How long? How long indeed? I think there was a time to the saviors. It is because of their sacrifice that Korgrad lives on. We repay the lives they gave us by caring for the town in their stead. I see, I see. Our humble town would be treacherous to those who have not grown accustomed to its many twists and turns. You possess the Savior's compassion and determination. The last people from above.
Go on without me. I'm going to speak with Arelas about my ancestors. I'd like to spend some time with Arelas. You heard, Arelas. It's dangerous deeper down. I'm no warrior, but take a look at them. They're positively sickly. I doubt it.
This is the day we've waited. They took the sickness from us, from our ancestors, at great cost to themselves. Or they preserved us from the sickness of the sea. For we follow the Savior's guidance. It was their wisdom that brought us here and kept us safe through a narrow passage.
These saviors you mentioned, did they happen to be members of the family?
Oh yes, the founders and protectors of this great realm. Does the surface still speak of their great sacrifice?
In a manner of speaking. I came here to learn more about this branch of my family.
It must be fate. Korgrad opened its doors so that you could enter. Oh, I have so much to show you. Here, here. This is Nempharian, the eldest and wisest of the ancestors resting here. Yes, I can see the likeness.
don't have to do this! Please!
Don't put me in there! Please!
Save us from these monsters! Please! Get us out of here! They're killing... Bloodletting, I think. These cave vermin poke and prod us whenever Arilus needs something to offer his saviors. To what end? Poor bastard. Never seen these vermin in such a frenzy. They dragged him screaming through those doors when Arilus isn't bleeding us.
Please help us.
"10,000 venerations to you."
Bless you. I can walk, but you lead the way.
They will be here soon.
We aren't free yet. We have to... Your friend's dead. If these saviors really are vampires, what chance do we have against them? I suppose if there's any chance, we have to try.
Welcome to Korgrad, visitor. Such as it is. Forgive our lacking hospitality. Come, speak. I have not had civil company in some time. You arrive upon him, bestowing on him the Korgrad legacy. He is taking the first step upon the long road to his vitality. It will take all he has to offer to restore each of us. But if he... On the contrary, he will taste immortality as we have. But only for scant centuries, not millennia. In a few generations, our bloodline will be... The embalming process has already begun. When the stone is finished, we will be restored, and he will be a savior. I regret that Fydur must suffer, but his pain will... We are Altmer, even in this desiccated state, cleansed of our poisoned humors to be free of the great sickness from the sea. Thras, I had always suspected as much. The sickness bore an intent as if designed to... It was ever present, ever penetrating. It seeped into every person, every creature, every drop of water, seeking to be quenched. The afflicted dragged themselves to corpulence with each passing day, and we spare them the ravages of the terrible sickness that spread through Korgrad. In exchange, they care for us in this invalid state. So to be free of the disease is to be free of all humors. They offer us their taint because he is kin. Most would not debase their bodies with the blood of men, but I am beyond such concerns. The blood Arilus offered us from the outside, my vain attempt to stop the sickness from spreading beyond our borders. The people rebelled against their confinement and nearly broke to spare them and others.
For what reason do you barge into our home? As if you have the right to trespass our lands as you please. You may believe our condition diminishes our station, but we are the other trespassers. They intrude as you do, without our sanction. Aurilas ends their vagrancy. The return of our pure-blooded kin means our long dormancy is nearing an end. The sickness has robbed us of fruitful lands, so our servants have been It is not your right.
Soon, this misery will finally be too long. There is little to occupy the time. The monotony. If not for Father's elixirs to quiet the mind, I have spent, I don't know how long, in absolute stagnation.
How healthy you look. I barely remember the feeling of, it was the only way. The choice was this long internment, or a brief, horrid end. Oh, no. It was never meant to be this long. To see her.
Gods, that was... I could feel my skin tightening as the stone drew the moisture out of me like a... Right. I suppose I can keep up. I'll just lick the damp off the walls if we...
Saviors, I've failed you. They've stolen our future, but I swear I'll rob them of theirs in kind. Don't let them kill us!
I can hardly believe it. You found Henrig and Mindaril, but where are the others? No, you've done more than anyone ever has for us. If anyone's to blame, it's us. We survive out here by sticking together, but we let fear keep us from doing what needed to be done. Was it quick? I can see. Tortured. Why? Just for the fun of it? Gods, I'll heed curses more closely in the future. The locals were right to avoid this place.
If it weren't for you, I'd have wound up a husk like those monsters, withering in that pit for who knows how long. I owe you my life. Even now, I still feel for them. What a miserable fate. I wish it could have been different. That Korgrad might have been redeemed. I used up most of my means traveling here, but take this with my gratitude. I'll stay with these people a while longer, if they'll have me. Best to stick together, and perhaps my standing will shield them from the intolerance my kind have for Nebarah. I don't know. Too often my kin seem content to forget ugliness exists. My eyes, my name may be all the means I can lend them. I doubt my parents will offer any support. Who knows if I'll even be welcome home when I return. I might be as much a vagabond as they when all is said and done. I'll do what I can, though.
Just thinking of...
I'd almost forgotten what kindness looks like. Thank you.
What I wouldn't give for some mead right now. Once we have our strength, we'll be leaving this damned place behind us. Promise you.